Welcoming you back to Chatham-Kent Cougars football on TV. Coach, go back for a doubleheader on this hot Saturday at the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex. My name is Mike Rennie along with Mike James. We've got your Cougar Classic coming up a little bit later on tonight, but right now it is the junior varsity squad taking on the Forest City Thunderbirds from London, Ontario. The Cougars will get the football to kick off this football game. It is brought down around the 49-yard line of Chatham-Kent. And on the reception there, I believe that was Cato who brought that one in. And the Cougars starting off at their own 44-yard line, Michael, trying to get a second straight win.
Good spot for the Cougars to take their first possession. Nice return there from Cato. Good field position here for the Cougars. Going on offense to start today's game. And you're going to see a mixed bag of quarterbacks. They got two quarterbacks the Cougars like to use. Nolan Ball, who's number 12, and we got number 14 in there right now, Kelton Evans at QB.
First offensive series of the football game. They elect to hand it off and running right up the middle past the 45-yard line. The game of about 2 yards on the ground. And the Cougars will set up a 2nd and 8. And on the carry there, that was Mark Kellett. Second and 8. This 3-down leg and a nice swing pass out to the far side. Jake Anderson with the reception, and he steps out of bounds as he crosses the 45-yard line. Nice short pass to Anderson, and he found a lot of room to move along that far side, stepping out of bounds. And a nifty little gain there for the Cougars as they move the chains.
Yeah, not a terribly well-thrown ball by Kelton Evans, but Jake Anderson pulls it in and then shows that speed on the outside. The Cougars got two wide receivers that they really like to feature, and that you saw one of them right there, Jake Anderson. The other one is number 81, Nate Woodall, who you'll expect to see as well this afternoon.
Dropping back to pass, now keeping it, is the quarterback on 1st and 10, eluding one tackle, still trying to get out of harm's way, and getting close to the 35-yard line. Good job by the quarterback, Kelton Evans, as he ran into a bit of trouble 2 times, but healthy gain, almost a first down.
And it's funny, speaking with the head coach, Mike Newman, before the game today, he had said that Kelton Evans can run, but he'd rather he didn't. But
if he has to.
If he has to, which, he did a good job right there. He saw a hole and took advantage. Nice gain on first down. It's bringing up 2nd and short.
Short 2 yards to go as Evans rolls off to his left, trying to find a receiver open, and he finds one. In for first down, number 80, Roundtree, St. John Roundtree, able to make the reception and moving the chains. So methodically moving the football down the field so far. Good job by Evans and the Cougars offense.
Really like that route from Roundtree right there. You saw him come back to the ball. That's what you always want to see from the wide receiver. Come back to the ball. It reduces the chance of the defensive back getting his hands on the football, and then you can turn it back upfield for a nice big game, and you saw that right there from Roundtree. Nice job.
All the way up to Forest City's 25-yard line. Boys from London in town, Thunderbirds and the Cougars, and off the snap, they lose the football, and that's going to be a turnover on downs. A bad break for the Cougars, and the quarterback, Kelton Evans, couldn't see if the ball was slapped out of his hands or he just kind of mishandled it on the handoff, but regardless, Forest City taking over the football deep in their own territory after the Cougars were quite impressive for the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's a shame because the Cougars, as you mentioned there, Mike, really having some success moving the ball. Kelton Evans looked like he turned to hand the ball off to the running back, and it looked like he got the ball into his hip, and the ball bounced off his hip and then hit the turf.
So Forest City will take over on offense, and quarterback number 7, Ben Schmidt, the T-Birds. Throwing it off to his right. And they pick up maybe 3 yards on that play.
Tackle made by Mo Ibari, number 85 for the Cougars, the defensive back on the far side there.
3 minutes gone in quarter number 1, no score. The junior varsity Cougars and their counterparts from London, Ontario. Dropping back to pass, up the middle, ball is up in the air, and a penalty flag is down. Somehow the receiver came up with it in a good throw from Ben Schmidt in a whole bunch of coverage there by the Cougars, and is this pass interference here? Looks like it might be.
Yeah, I believe so there, Mike. Looked like there was contact with the receiver while the ball was in the air, and as you mentioned, somehow still managed to come down with the football. So a great catch from the receiver for Forest City. But, yeah, there was definitely contact while that ball was in the air, and there were a host of Cougars in the area. Just looked like they had some trouble spotting the ball up in the air.
Like the receiver was at least triple teamed, but he still came down with it. So, of course, the penalty is declined. The Thunderbirds into Cougar territory now. This time they go on the ground, and a seam right up the middle past the 45-yard line. That is Chase McGee on the run. And pretty good pickup there for the Forest City squad. After the turnover by the Cougars, hands the football over.
Tackle made there by the Cougars, Randy Cartier, number 54, and Mo Ibari, number 85. But some big plowing there from the running back from the Thunderbirds, and pickup of 10 and a first down.
Able to move the chains, so they move up here, 43-yard line of the Cougars. 4 minutes gone in the opening quarter. Once again, they keep it on the ground. Another seam right up the middle to the 40-yard line. And that's where running back taken down as McGee gets the call once again for Forest City.
Yeah, Chase McGee showing he's a tough runner. And that's what the head coach for Forest City tells me. He loves to pound the ball. He's an all-around back. And that's what you're seeing right there. Looked like they were happy with that first carry, the 10-yard gain, so why not go back to it, see what you can get. A nice pickup of 6, close to 7.
Pivotal play here on 2nd and 4. Once again, they keep it on the ground, and McGee, with some difficulty, can't get around that nice line there by the Cougars, and they're able to swarm McGee and take him down after he runs into the line of scrimmage. So a good second down stand there by the Cougars defensive line. And that's going to bring the punting unit on the field now for Forest City.
That was a nice job by number 90, Drew Smith, along that defensive line for the Cougars. First to get his hands on the running back. Got to grab the hold of that jersey and was able to drag him down with the help of a few other friends on defense. But Smith, the first one to make contact, and does a good job holding him up from getting that first down.
So off the turnover, the Cougars defense coming up big as they force the Thunderbirds to punt it away. High up in the air. And brought down by the Cougars, Zach Konechny. They'll get the football back with 10 minutes to go in quarter number 1.
It looked like we have a flag on the field there. Konechny, not much of a return there. Some good coverage from the Thunderbirds. Might have been a no yards call. And that's exactly what it is. It was a no yards call, so penalty assessed and some good field position here for the Cougars to start off again. They'll try to recapture that hot start that they had before the turnover stopped that drive that they had on the opening possession.
Did a lot of things right in that opening drive, Michael, but that one turnover, and they lost the football, so they'll try it again. They keep it on the ground this time. Nowhere to go on the ground for the Cougars. Back to the line of scrimmage at best, it appears. On 1st and 10.
Jacob Broad with the carry that time, number 33 of the Cougars. And as you mentioned, Mike, not a lot of room on that left side that time.
Looks like he dropped half a yard, so 2nd and a long 10 coming up here. And in the shotgun is Kelton Evans, dropping back to pass, going up in the air down the middle. Trying to catch up with it is the receiver, Jake Anderson, who had a big catch in that first offensive series for the Cougars, but that one was just overthrown by stride and a half. And not a lot of field time that time around for the Cougars on offense. And on 3rd and 10, they'll have to kick it away.
That's unfortunate. Jake Anderson had about a half a step on the defensive back, and that throw not far out of his reach, but just enough that he couldn't get a hand on it. That's unfortunate. Just a little bit less on that football, and he would have been off to the races. But unfortunately, that one falls incomplete for the Cougars. And as you mentioned, a quick 2-and-out here for Chatham-Kent.
Fairly low snap, but picked up and kicked away by Niven, and that one out of bounds with 8:53 remaining in quarter number 1. Still looking for our first points of this football game. The junior varsity Chatham-Kent Cougars and Forest City Thunderbirds. Chatham-Kent 1 and 2 coming in.
Great job by Trevor Niven on that kick there to grab a hold. Like, as you mentioned, he had a little bit of trouble on the snap, but got a good boot on it and pinned the Thunderbirds back into their own territory. And Niven, understand, one of the better kickers in the league. So Chatham-Kent, that's nice to have an ace like that on special teams. Can get you out of some trouble if you're pinned deep in your own zone.
Nice kick back to the 36-yard line for Forest City as they get their second offensive possession of this football game. Dropping back to pass on 1st and 10, and it's caught right at the 50-yard line. Pass it was right on to from Ben Schmidt. And that's going to move the chains. So right away, a first down for Forest City, and they get close to midfield up to around the 50-yard line.
Boy, that was some good timing there from the safety, Konecki, as well. Zach Konecki, number 19, got there just as the ball arrived, but wasn't able to separate the receiver from the football. Almost had enough time, really, to reach his hand around, but I think the ball got there just ahead of him.
Oh, very high snap. Good job by the quarterback to keep possession, but there's number 92 for the Cougars, Austin Miller, to bring down the quarterback in a big sack on Ben Schmidt. And that was big, aided in part by the high snap and the trouble hanging onto that football by the quarterback.
Yeah, no doubt, Mike. That certainly disrupted that play. Austin Smith, though, a nice job getting in there and dragging him down for the loss. And Smith, one of the top defensive ends in the province, I understand, at his position. So certainly a nice asset, another nice asset for the Cougars to have.
Absolutely. 4-yard sack there. So 2nd and 14. So a big play coming up here for London as they have another pass play, and it's completed. This one will come to midfield, and the reception there by 77 Matt McFarland. But the good news for the Cougars, it's about 5.5 yards short of the first down. And so Cougars will get the football back as Forest City forced to punt it away, and that sack looms large.
And that's a good job by Alex Formosa, number 18 of the Cougars, to come and make a nice, sure tackle, get nice and low, wrap those legs. Nowhere to go after that. Without the legs, you're not going anywhere. Formosa does a good job, a good sure tackle. They don't get any extra yards and forced to punt the ball away on 3rd down.
Ball just on the Cougars side of midfield, and a line drive kick will be fielded on one hop, taken around the 35-yard line. And running at about 5 yards before taken down, Zach Konecki. Cougars with some fairly decent field position this time around. Their 3rd kick of the can on offense. Still a scoreless football game with 6:44 left in the first quarter.
Yeah, you mentioned the Cougars coming into this one with a 1-2 record, and Forest City Thunderbirds coming in with a 2-1 record. Forest City suffering their first loss, lopsided loss last weekend against Burlington, and the coaching staff, I understand, tells me, the Thunderbirds coaching staff, that it was their best week of practice that they've had. So obviously that loss certainly a motivation for them. Cougars, big one here. They get a lot of their players back who are playing high school football.
Nice pass, some room, and a reception along an open near side for the Cougars, past the 30-yard line, close to the 20. A great pass and brought in by Liberty Roundtree as he hauled that one in from Kelton Evans. So credit the quarterback and the receiver that time around. Lots of room to move and a ton of yards after the catch for Roundtree.
Nice 55-yard gain. You got to love that play right there. Beautiful catch by Roundtree, and Evans just puts enough air under that ball, just able to run right under it perfectly. Just didn't have the speed to get it all the way to the end zone, but nonetheless, a beautiful pass and catch there. Perfectly lobbed up for the receiver to run right underneath it, and some momentum here for the Cougars, 1st and 10.
They'll take it to kick off this drive. Rolling off to his left, again going to the air towards the end zone. Hauled in. And looks like just shy of the end zone as we're looking across the field. But another huge play in the air, so back-to-back giant gains for the quarterback Kelton Evans in the Chatham-Kent Cougars offense. 2 plays, and they're already to the 1-yard line.
Big number 81, Nate Woodall, with that catch there. Not the prettiest pass, but Woodall makes it work, gets underneath it, and the Cougars knocking on the door.
Under 5.5 to play, 1 yard to pay dirt here. Quarterback keeping it, rolling to his right. The end zone, touchdown, Cougars. Liberty Roundtree with his 2nd big catch of this drive. This one for 6 points. And the Cougars draw first blood as they're up 6-0.
Boy, that's a big score there for the Cougars. A nice job. The old play-action pass, fake the handoff, and then roll the quarterback out to the far wide side, and nobody there anywhere near Roundtree, and he pulls that in, and Roundtree did the most of that work on that drive, and nice to see him get the payoff with the touchdown.
Trying to make it a neat 7-0 score here. And a flag blows this one dead before the snap. Looks like this is against Chatham-Kent. False start. This will be applied on the kickoff coming up. Try it again. And it's up and through. So a 7-0 lead. Great opening. I shouldn't say opening, but great third offensive drive here for the Chatham-Kent Cougars. Finally hitting the score sheet, and they break the 0-0 tie in a big way.
And obviously the big play on that drive, Roundtree with the 55-yard reception from Evans. And again, it was a beautiful job on that play, recapping it. Roundtree comes out on this near side to us, runs an out and up. And the DB was playing underneath the receiver, thinking that the quarterback was going to throw the out. And then the receiver just turns it up the field, and nobody near him. He had about 2 steps on the defensive back, and defensive back was able to catch him before he got to the end zone. But the Cougars able to make that one count. A great drive there from Evans, and a couple big plays from Roundtree.
Offense looking good. Defense also with a couple of impressive stands in this first quarter as well. And if it wasn't for that fumble in the first possession offensively for the Cougars, could be more than 7-0 right now. But other than that, all things looking pretty good in this opening quarter here for the junior varsity Cougars as they kick it off. A nice line drive kick, bouncing football to around the 20-yard line. Picked up and across the 30 to around the 33. And that's where Forest City will begin. And the tackle number 85 that time around, Moe Bari, as we've called his name a 3 times already on defense.
Yeah, we certainly have good tackle there. Also a good job from the contain man on the outside there. I didn't get the number, but did a good job covering that outside, forcing the return man to cut it back up inside, because those return men, they're always looking to cut it outside and then up the sideline. The contain man did his job. He didn't bite inside, stayed outside, forced the return man inside, and then his friend there to make the tackle, Abari.
So the 34-yard line, Forest City Thunderbirds still looking for their first points of the afternoon. 7-0 Cougars. 5:08 and counting to go in the opening stanza.
Let's go out there, defense. Take it to them.
Quarterback dropping back to pass and almost intercepted that one right in the chest of number 74. Denver Brown was that close to picking off that pass. Ben Schmidt, it was almost like they were teammates.
Denver Brown going to be thinking about that one after this game. As a defender, I can tell you, you're never expecting the ball to be thrown right to you. And it always catches you a little off guard, and I think that's what happened there probably. Denver Brown, the ball hit him right between the numbers and just caught him off guard, and unfortunately that one hits the turf.
Setting up 2nd and 10 now, and a very high snap well over Schmidt's head. He has to scramble back to get the football, has some room to move along that far side, and now he fires it, and again, almost intercepted as he just threw that ball before he got to the line of scrimmage. And that one falling incomplete. No flags from there is a flag along that far side, actually 2 now.
Well, the one certainly going against the Cougars, Trevor Niven, number 34, because he pushed the receiver from behind before the ball got to him, so it was clearly a pass interference there on Niven. Not sure what the other flag is, though. We'll have to wait and see what the call is.
Unfortunate circumstance there. If this results in a first down for the Forest City Thunderbirds, they had them pinned down. And the quarterback scrambling there, but it looks like that's going to be first down here for the Forest City Thunderbirds after the penalty. And it's going to bring the football to our left a fair distance all the way to the 45-yard line of the Cougars. So a costly penalty there.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Mike, it is unfortunate, but Cougars going to have to bounce back because they did have a lot of pressure on the quarterback there, Schmidt, but just weren't able to bring him down. And credit to Schmidt, able to make that throw across his body. Really your coach not to do that, but he did a good job, zinged it in there, and forced the Cougars into a penalty.
1st and 10 for the Thunderbirds. 7-0 Cougars on top as they keep it on the ground past the 40-yard line. On the carry was Chase McGee, as he's had 3 or 4 carries in this quarter. 4th for McGee, and an 8-yard pickup. Setting up a 2nd and 2 here for Forest City. 4 minutes even to play in quarter number 1.
A host of Cougars in on that tackle, including number 74, Denver Brown of the Cougars.
Let's go, boys.
Another very high snap. Schmidt able to grab it, but a nice job by the Cougars and a quarterback sack back to the 45-yard line. And Formosa, I believe, the Cougar defender getting there first to bring down the quarterback.
Yeah, great job by Formosa, too. Looked like it was going to be a play-action pass. Either that or the running back saw that the defense was breathing right down his throat and didn't grab the football for fear of fumbling it. But Formosa comes in. He reads the play, waits to see if the quarterback's going to hand it off to the running back. Quarterback keeps it. He attacks, makes a great job with the tackle. And the Cougars there with the big loss and forcing Forest City into a punt situation.
9-yard sack by Formosa. Cougars coming up large on defense just when they need them to. And another punt here for Forest City as we approach 3 minutes to go in quarter number 1. And a line drive kick, and this one gets past the defender. Finally picked up by the Cougars. A little bit of room to move. Now a lot of room along the near side. Hitting the 35-yard line. Now it's up to the 45, close to the 50, and finally quadruple teamed was Konecki. And give him a lot of credit. Zach Konecki looked like he was going to be brought down deep in Cougar territory. He brings it very close to midfield, close to the 50-yard line.
Talk about making something out of nothing. That ball squirts under his hands. You're not sure if he touches it or not, but he doesn't dive on the ball, so it leaves you with the impression that he didn't touch it. And then he picks it up while he's surrounded by a host of Thunderbirds and then just turns on the Jets, gets outside, and a nice big gain for the Cougars here. Some good field position when you thought they were going to be in some trouble.
So the Cougars started their own 47, up by a touchdown. Evans with a short pass along the near side. It's completed past midfield to the 50 and some room to move. He's got some daylight towards the end zone. It's going to be a major score for the Cougars. Touchdown, Chatham-Kent. And Mark Kellett gets 6 more points for Chatham-Kent. The Cougars now lead at 13-0. A nice reception and a lot of yards after the catch as Kellett goes to the big house.
Kellett, and that was a beautifully drawn up play there. A little screen pass for Kellett, but it was so wide open on this right side. He actually outran his blockers. He just got one key block there on the edge and then turned on the Jets. He was gone. 63-yard touchdown catch and run for Kellett. And the Cougars 13-0 at this point, waiting on the extra point. Beautiful pass and catch there and a great run by Kellett.
Flag down. Didn't see if that was prior to the snap or not. But offensively in this first quarter, Cougars getting it done, and on the other side of the football too. Up by 2 majors.
Didn't see a signal on that one, whether that kick was good or not. You mentioned the flag there, Mike, but I haven't seen a signal yet. Waiting. Okay, there we go. The kick is good, and they're saying it was unnecessary roughness against the Forest City team, so they're going to assess that on the kickoff. So it is a 14-0 lead now for the Cougars.
Couple of quick drives leading to touchdowns here in the first quarter for the Cougars, 14-0. And Kellett with that short reception and then a whole truckload of yards after the catch right to the end zone. And 2:18 left to go here in quarter number 1.
Boy, a chance at a single here with the leg that Niven's got.
Cougars kicking it away. Good kick, close to the goal line. 84 for Forest City. Finally gets tripped up around the 25, 30-yard line. Grosbeck on the return. So Forest City now will take over in their own territory, and they've got some work to do. The Cougars with a good start.
Good tackle there from number 15, Eric Penny, the wide receiver who's playing special teams as well for the Cougars. But good job here by the Cougar special teams after that penalty, pinning Forest City now deep in their own territory. As you mentioned, Mike, they're going to start with the ball on their own 20-yard line. Good chance here for the Cougars to pin their ears back and put some pressure on the Forest City offense.
Defense shining so far in this first quarter. The shotgun for Schmidt, dropping back to pass, not finding anybody open, and now a lot of pressure behind him and brought down. Not sure if he got to the line of scrimmage or not. I'm inclined to think not. And again, some tenacious D along the defensive line for the Cougars, giving a lot of pressure to the quarterback, Ben Schmidt, who's had a lot of headaches so far in this first quarter.
Yeah, Dorian Payne, number 53 of the Cougars, and Austin Miller, number 92 for the Cougars as well, the big defensive end. Both of them getting in there and recording that sack. They could share that one. I think a half sack each, I'd say. They were both in on that one, and great job from the Cougars D.
Sack 1, 2nd and 11 as Schmidt's back to pass once again, goes to the air, and it's intercepted by the Cougars. Back to the 20, close to the 20-yard line. A great job by the Cougars, and number 34 bringing that one down, Trevor Niven on the INT. I believe he was the one that brought it down.
Yeah, Niven, the defensive back, did a great job. Saw that ball just lobbed up in the air. Looked like Schmidt was just kind of hoping somebody would run under that one. And Niven, playing center field, jumps up, gets that ball at the highest point, does a good job catching it, securing it, and then a nice return, almost 20-yard return. Now the Cougars knocking on the door again, already up 14-0. Great job by the defense. Now putting the offense in a great position here to potentially build on that lead.
I'm sure they're kind of eyeing the clock, too, to maybe get this lead widened before the end of the first quarter. In the shotgun, Evans dropping back to pass, trying to find somebody open deep, and now he's just going to lob it over everybody. And out of bounds, just throwing that one away. So 2nd and 10 coming up. He couldn't find anybody open.
Yeah, that's a good job by Evans there. He's looking for somebody to come open, and the whole defense flowing with him as he rolls out to the near side of the field where we are. Nowhere to go with that football, so he does the right thing, throws it away, don't risk an interception, and live to see another down.
25 seconds to go in quarter number 1. A big 2nd and 10 here offensively for the Cougars. Evans rolling to his left, trying to find the open receiver. And touchdown Cougars. He was able to hang on to it. Anderson with a great reception. Juggled it a little bit as he was heading to the goal line. And he was able to get past into the end zone. And another major score for the Cougars before the end of the first quarter. They're now up 20-0.
Boy, that was a great job there. Evans really impressed me on that one. They made it. They fooled the defense, making him think that he was going to pass it out to the right. He dropped back, looked to the right, and then turned, rolled away from the defense, actually turned his back on the defense, rolled to the far side, and then a tremendous throw and a great catch by Jake Anderson, and then dives into the end zone. This offense has really impressed me so far.
Lots of momentum here for the Cougars, and the point after is blocked by a couple of Thunderbirds. And so the lead will remain 20-0 for Chatham-Kent. 16 seconds to go in quarter number 1.
The extra point block there for the Cougars. Thunderbirds getting some pressure right up the middle. Really the only one of few blemishes that we've seen so far in this first quarter from the Chatham-Kent Cougars.
Hopefully that doesn't kill any kind of momentum, though. Just be proud of what they've done on the offense here. 20-0. after we played the first few minutes of the quarter scoreless. So these 3 touchdowns have come, I believe, in 3 consecutive offensive chances here for the Cougars. And with the defense playing the way they have, they're getting the football back pretty quickly.
You know, and I really think it's made a difference. As we said at the outset, the Cougars getting a lot of players back from the high school team. They were missing 15 players. So I think that's really making a difference on the squad so far.
Decent opening field position here for the Forest City Thunderbirds, getting past the 40-yard line on that latest kick return. 10.7 seconds remaining in quarter number 1. And the ball will rest at around the 42.
Let's go out there, Cougar D. Come on, boys.
Not steady, shake it off, kid.
We certainly have seen the Thunderbirds have some success with the ball on the ground. Not as much with putting the ball in the air, though.
Final play of quarter number 1, and going to the air and a reception to midfield. We'll give the Forest City Thunderbirds a first down to begin quarter number 2, and hauling that one in was Jack Keys for the T-Birds. But overall, that brings it in to a very impressive first quarter for Chatham-Kent. They're up by 3 touchdowns.
Well, you could almost say I jinxed it right there. That right after I mentioned that, they complete a pass for about 12 yards. But boy, Schmidt was lucky to get rid of that one, the quarterback for Forest City, because big number 92, Austin Miller, was breathing down his throat and laid a good lick on him. Miller might have been shaken up on that hit, actually. Looks like he's kind of grimacing in pain a little bit down on the field, but he's staying in. But looks like he's in a little bit of discomfort. Really delivered a big hit to Schmidt just after he delivered that football. And we've seen big number 92 apply a lot of pressure so far early in this game. Again, that's Austin Miller, 6'2", 265.
So now we're safely into quarter number 2, 1st and 10 for Forest City as they switch sides, and that football underthrown. About a foot underthrown, intended for Grossbeck. And it falls to the turf around the 50-yard line, so a big incompletion for the Thunderbirds.
And again, Austin Miller getting into the backfield, disrupting. He got a hand up, applying some pressure to Schmidt. Always key. If you can get some pressure on the quarterback, force those errant throws, that's going to help your defense and your defensive backs increase the chances for picking off some passes. And again, Miller able to disrupt the throw from Schmidt, get his hand up, and apply some pressure in his face.
And the big play here for the defense for Chatham-Kent, keeping it, is the quarterback trying to get around the defense. And finally brought down, I believe, after the first down was obtained. Quarterback Ben Schmidt staying on his feet just long enough to get the chains moved.
Yeah, Schmidt showing some elusiveness there. Looked like he was going to be brought down for a short gain, but able to pick up a good chunk of yardage, as you mentioned there, Mike. Enough for our first down. We got to mention, too, it's a hot one out here today. In the high 20s, mid 80s, I'd say.
And with the Humidex, a lot more than that, probably feeling close to 36, 37 Celsius. So not an easy time to play down there in that football field as they keep it on the ground. Forest City does. And still on his feet past the 35-yard line. Chase McGee with another impressive run. Close to a first down. Not sure if, yep, they did get that first down. So McGee able to move the chains here. An impressive run on offense for Forest City to begin this second quarter, as they appear to have made some adjustments.
Yeah, Jake Brush with the tackle there, number 48 for the Cougars.
Defense, close up that middle.
And Forest City going to that ground game.
Here's Schmidt once again rolling to his left, finds an open receiver. Cuts back to the inside. And gaining at least half of what he needs for the first down. Trying to see who brought that in. I believe that might have been Lyons with the reception there for London.
And the safety, Konecki, with the tackle, number 19. A little bit of over pursuit from the defense there. Just a little lob pass from Schmidt to his receiver, and then the receiver cutting it back up against the grain against that defense and finding some extra yards. A nice big gain on first down.
It's actually 7, maybe close to 8 yards on that play. So second and a long 2 coming up here. They keep it on the ground. And I don't think he got enough for the first down. So good job there on second and short on the defense for the Cougars.
Big Drew Smith with the tackle. 6'2", 195. Defensive lineman for the Cougars.
Looks like about a half a yard shy of the first down. And to some decent territory for the Cougars. Looks like they're going to do it on third and short.
Yeah, it's really such a short distance. Not really surprising here. Forest City going to go for it.
I think a timeout may have been called here by Forest City. Talk this one over. Get hydrated, as you mentioned, Mike. A warm, almost uncomfortable afternoon here.
Yeah, and I mentioned only because in the second half might be something to watch for. Fatigue might start to kick in because of the heat. You might see some cramping. Because really, the summer to this point has been, fairly
cool.
Yeah, it hasn't been all that hot. So maybe the adjustment, the bodies haven't quite made the adjustment yet. That's right, yeah.
Good point by Mike Sinclair. Yeah, we're only into day 2 of summer.
Day 2, 1:04 a.m. It started yesterday.
Oh, wow, look at you.
Yeah.
Mr. Meteorologist over here.
Just call me David Phillips, Environment Canada. So I got to say, though, this timeout, in my eyes anyway, would favor the defense. Give them a breather. Whenever you're on offense, you got things moving. Any kind of timeout delay like that potentially can stall any momentum that you had, put a stop to it. So that defense, I would say, favors the Cougars. Although this is a very short yardage, third and short. It's I don't even know if it's even a half a yard.
Third and very short. And they keep it on the ground, and they will move the chains, getting just enough for the first down. So the Thunderbirds took a gamble there on third and very short, and it worked out as this drive continues.
Quarterback keeper there, and Schmidt gets tackled by Konecki coming up from his safety position. But as you mentioned, Mike, they picked up just over a yard, it looks like, and enough for that fresh set of downs.
Schmidt off to McGee once again. Shoveled pass off to the running back. Tries to find a hole along that far side. And gets a few positive yards. 5, maybe 6 on the run there.
Yeah, they just pitch it outside to that running back. Jake Brush makes the tackle, but looks like London's adjusted their offensive plan a little bit. We saw them go to the air much more earlier in the game. Now it looks like they're going to stick with the ground game, having some success running the football.
Ball on the Cougars' 11-yard line, second down and 3. Once again, McGee with the call just past the line of scrimmage. It falls forward. For, well, just enough. They got about 3 yards on that run there, so he fell forward just enough to move the chains. And a first and goal situation coming up here for Forest City. They keep this drive going. Trying to get on the score sheet for the first time here this afternoon. Here's Schmidt with the handoff. Number 32 getting there. There's Hayden Archibald getting maybe his first touch of the football game.
Yeah, and Archibald's a load. 5'9", 195. He's their short yardage guy.
Let's go now, Cougars. Let's take it.
So that's second down and goal. 3-yard line, so a big task here for the Cougars defense. As they keep it on the ground once again, going towards the end zone. And stop short. But 1 yard shy of the end zone.
Good penetration there from the linebacker, Randy Cartier. Got some pressure in the backfield. before a couple of his defensive friends made the tackle. So able to slow the running back up just that little bit. And that brings up a 3rd and goal, and looks like Forest City's going to take a timeout to talk about this one here.
Now saying the 2-yard line. So 3rd and goal. So a big play coming up here. 8:49 to go in the first half. And what's been a half of football largely controlled by the Chatham-Kent Cougars. This is the best drive by far offensively here for Forest City. As you could probably figure out by the 20-0 score if you're just joining us. Here with TB Coach and the Chatham-Kent Cougars junior varsity squad today. First of 2 football games we'll bring to you from this afternoon at the Chatham-Kent Athletic Complex. Mike Renier along with Mike James, Jeff Brooks on the camera. We'll have the varsity squad and the alumni getting going a little bit later on tonight. 7:30 opening kickoff. I want to mention a couple of sponsors bringing this Cougars broadcast to you here on Coach Go this season. Dr. Svek Institute of Psychological Services, Chatham, London, Sarnia, and Blenheim too. Also Exercise MD. Make sure you visit them at exercisemd.ca. You want to say hi to Bev Shreve, Royal LePage, bshreve.com. Also TechNet Auto Service on Bing Ave in Chatham, and more that we will bring to you over the course of this broadcast. But thanks to everybody supporting Chatham-Kent Cougars football, and we're glad that we can bring them to you on your TV screen here with TV Coach Co. 3rd and goal from the 2. Big play here for Forest City on offense, trying to get that goose egg off the scoreboard. They hand it off to the running back, and touchdown as Chase McGee found a seam along that far side, and he's able to bring it in. So the Thunderbirds get on the scoreboard. Now it's 20-6.
Well, a solid drive there from Forest City. Really, just keeping the ball on the ground, pounding it, ground and pound, and really not what we were expecting from Forest City. And as we mentioned, looks like they've changed their game plan a little bit, going a little bit more to that run game as opposed to putting the ball in the air and finding some success with that. And on that drive, mostly running the football, turns into 6 points, potentially 7 here.
Kick is up and through as Matt Bushell makes it a 20-7 football game. 8:45 to go in the second quarter. So the Cougars now will get the football back after the offense able to rest a little bit. That elongated drive with the football took about 5 minutes there for Forest City. So they cut into the Cougars' lead, 20-7. And Kelton Evans in the offense for the Cougars now back on the field, or will be soon.
We'll see how the Cougars respond here. They really had all the momentum up until that score from Forest City. So first points on the board for the Thunderbirds, excuse me. Cougars a chance here to get the football back.
Trying to even their record at 2-2, winning last week against Kitchener-Waterloo. And a high kick coming down around the 20-yard line. And a pretty good return here by the Cougars, almost up to the 40-yard line. Around the 37 is where the Cougars will begin. Good return there for Chatham-Kent.
Konecki with the big return. Does a good job running right up the gut with that return. That's really key. Get right into the teeth of that return team. Get right into the teeth of your blockers. And then once you get in the middle and then you find your cutting lane, try to cut it back outside. And nice job by Konecki getting it right up the middle. He had really just one tackler to beat, and he would have been gone. Nice positive return by Konecki, doing a good job.
Evans in the offense right back at it here for the Cougars at the 37. They elect to keep it on the ground, and they get maybe 1 yard as they try to run it up the gut. That might have been Robbie Wright with the carry there.
Looks like the Cougars actually made a change now. Looks like it's Nolan Ball that's in their number 12. And we mentioned at the outset that the Cougars do use 2 quarterbacks. Up to this point, it had been Kelton Evans. Nolan Ball here getting his first series, number 12.
Maybe each quarterback getting a quarter here in this football game, going back and forth. We'll see. But Ball in a whole world of trouble. He's backed up all the way to the 20. And Nolan Ball sacked in a big, big way there for the Cougars. An 18-yard sack. And that will help field position here for Forest City as they will be back for the punt return. Not the series that Nolan Ball wanted when he came into the football game for the first time this afternoon.
No, and I think Nolan Ball is a little shaken up from that one, too. He had 2 or 3 Thunderbirds land right on top of him while he had the football. So we'll see if we see him come back into the game. But, yeah, as you mentioned, Mike, a rough start for Nolan Ball.
Right after the T-Birds get the touchdown to cut into the Cougars' lead and Ball into the football game for the first time now. They are going for a fake. Chance here for the Cougars. Will they be able to pull this one off? Up to the 40-yard line, 41. They don't make it to the first down, but there is a flag down on the field around the 36-yard line. See the official call on the field and see if this will further the chances of the Cougars or not.
Boy, that a big block there from one of the Cougars, too. Looks like this flag going against the Cougars.
Taking a big gamble there in the fake punt. They almost pulled it off.
That was a gutsy call there from the Cougars from their deep in their own end with the fake punt. And I'm not sure what the call. Waiting on the call here. Was it a block from behind? Oh, a hold. They're calling a hold against the Cougars on that. So the Cougars here going to be forced to kick from their own end zone, and wouldn't be surprised you see them take a knee, but we'll wait and see with that big leg of number 34, Niven. They might elect to kick this one out of there.
Very low snap, dug out of the ground, and a pretty good kick.
Nice kick from Niven there.
Bounces past the 45-yard line. From this angle, we'll see where it crossed out of bounds, but hey, from into your end zone to in the area of midfield. Good job by the Cougars to pin it back as far as they could.
Yeah, and that's exactly, I mean, special teams can just be such a huge part, especially when you're talking about field position. You've got that big leg of Niven, gives you a chance to play defense here now. The ball going to be marked at about the 40-yard line, I guess, what the referee's saying where that ball went out of bounds. But great kick by Niven to give the Cougars defense a chance here to shut out the Thunderbirds.
6:41 to go in second quarter. 20-7, the Cougars on top. And the Thunderbirds keeping it on the ground. Getting some positive yards there. Looks like that was Jack Keys getting some yardage there.
With the tackle there was 85, Moa Bari. It looked like it was Dorian Payne that actually got some pressure. Nearly made the tackle in the backfield.
Let's get hungry out there, boys.
Forest City just bringing the receiver out of the slot across as in a running back formation. Then he just takes it outside, and they nearly had him for a loss.
4-yard pickup, 2nd and 6. Schmidt again to pass it, and bobbled and dropped. Receiver was open, number 87. Once again, Jack Keys.
Here we go, Wade.
But he was down on the turf, couldn't bring it in. He bobbled it, fell incomplete. And a 3rd and 6 coming up here in Cougar territory. And it looks like they're going to just continue to go for it here.
And even if he had made the catch, he was already down when he was attempting to make the catch, so it really would have been no gain. He wouldn't have come close to a first down. And as you mentioned, Mike, Forest City, they are going for it here. Big chance for a stop here for the Cougars defense.
3rd and 6, and they keep it on the ground. And look who they give it to. So running back still on his feet, getting around every Cougar defender so far. Finally brought down inside the 20-yard line, but Chase McGee continues his big game. And on 3rd and 6, he gets well more than he needs and deep into Cougar territory. So the Thunderbirds, again with a 3rd down gamble, coming up big there.
And that's a shame because the Cougars had a shot at bringing him down short of that 1st down, but a running back showed his elusiveness there, and really a big tackle by Niven, number 34, touchdown-saving tackle, or else he was going into the end zone.
All the way up to the 15-yard line of the Cougars. Schmidt once again scrambling to his left. He's going to keep it himself, and finally pushed down by the Cougars.
Looks like it was Konecki with the tackle over there on that far side. Coming with some pressure up the middle there, Randy Cartier forcing Schmidt to scramble outside before Konecki able to finish him off.
5-yard pickup, 2nd and 5. Ball resting at the 10-yard line of the Cougars. Chatham-Kent up by 13, 20-7.
Let's go.
Ben Schmidt handing off the football, and right away, running back gets tackled. Big stand again there on 2nd and mid-range there by the Cougars defense. Doing a good job setting up a 3rd down. No gain on that play.
Nice job there by Nate Krieger with the tackle, number 57, and then Konecki, number 19, coming in to finish it off. That was a good job. We saw that play earlier. That's where they line up that number 87 for the Thunderbirds. Kind of in a wing formation. Jack Keys is 87 for the Thunderbirds. Lines up off to the right side of the quarterback and then just runs across the face of the quarterback, takes the handoff, and then tries to get the edge on that left side. But a good job by the Cougars defense that time. They sniffed it out, and a big stop there, bringing up a big 3rd down here for both London and Chatham-Kent. Or I should say for City.
Right, which is London and the city that they also play in. Correct. So I think both could be technically correct. We hope. They actually dropped a couple of yards on that play there, so ball resting at the 8-yard line, 3rd down, and goal here for Forest City / London.
We had a Cougar player there shaken up on that play, just going off the field, just trying to get a number here. Across the other side of the field, hard to make out at this point. When we get that number, though, we'll pass it along. And they're going to go for the field goal here.
Trying to make it a 10-point game. Kick is up and through, so it's a 20-10 game now. 3:51 remaining in the 2nd quarter.
And we just got the number on the player that was walking off the field injured from the previous play, and it was number 85, Moa Bari, whose name we've called quite a few times so far here in this first half. So hopefully he's all right and can come back into this football game.
He's a key guy on front defense for the Cougars. Bari's come up big in the last couple of years. 3:51 remaining. And this afternoon, not getting any cooler yet. So I'm sure the players kind of looking for a bit of a breather at halftime.
Yeah, it looks like we got some clouds roll in a little bit here. Provide a little bit of cool air.
We will check out the TV Coach Go Doppler radar here pretty soon to see if anything's in the area. Bet you didn't know we had that.
I really didn't. Our budget grows every year.
Slowly but surely. And so our pay decreases so we could afford that. Kick is up and falls down around the 20-yard line, picked up by the Cougars. Swarmed by the defense. of Forest City, but still a good job to be fairly elusive was Konecki there. And the Cougars still have a fair bit of time to work with here this first half. 3:45 to go in the second quarter. And the Cougars still nursing a lead. It's been cut down to 10 points at 20-10.
Yeah, 10 straight points here for Forest City. And now they've got the Cougars pinned deep in their own end. So going to be key here for Chatham-Kent to get something going. You really don't want to give the ball back to Forest City with a lot of time left on the clock here in the first half, the way they've been moving the ball the last couple of possessions.
Going back to the air, intended for Anderson. He was double teamed. A good throw, and Anderson actually kind of upset with himself that he didn't hold that one in around the 35-yard line. As Kelton Evans back into the football game, and not a terrible throw there.
Yeah, no, a good-looking throw there from Evans, as you mentioned, back in after a series off where Nolan Ball came in. Jake Anderson, that ball hits him right in the hands, and that's a tough catch. The defensive back got his hand up, trying to get a hand on the football, and it's certainly distracting for the receiver, but no doubt Anderson would like to have that one back.
Evans scrambling to his left, eluding one tackle, throwing it up, and getting turned around a little bit there and able to track that one was Nate Whittall. That was the intended receiver, and it falls incomplete. So 2 incompletions and a 3rd and 10. Still with 3:06 to go. Looks like the Cougars an easy decision to kick this one away.
Yeah, no doubt, deep in their own end. You're going to put the boot to it here. Remember last time we were in this position, though, the Cougars did run a fake and came close to getting the yardage, but had a penalty negate it.
I believe that was a lot more than 10 yards to go. So
it really was. It was. I think it was closer to 30 yards to go.
So this is just easy if they decided to go again.
Although you figure Forest City's maybe got that in the back of their mind here as well.
3 minutes even to go in the first half. And heading back to the end zone to take a knee. And a bit of a late hit, which Cougars fans not impressed with. As if taking a knee wasn't enough.
That certainly, in my mind anyway, would have been worthy of an unsportsmanlike call there. Clearly he was taking a knee. The hit was unnecessary. And I would call that a bit of a fail there on looking out for the safety of the players from the linesman at the back.
So the safety makes it 20-12. As slowly but surely the Forest City Thunderbirds crawling back into this football game with 12 unanswered points. Here in this second quarter, after a 20-0 lead was established in the first quarter by the Cougars. So kind of the tale of 2 different quarters here. Not that the Cougars have played all that terribly. It's just, I think Forest City has made some adjustments and trying to figure out Chatham-Kent a little bit more. Tighten this football game up a little bit.
Yeah, and really the key is they've gone more to the run, and they've had a lot of success running the football. And that could be key in the second half. We mentioned the heat today. Although it has cooled off slightly here, we've had some darker clouds roll in. But with the heat running the football, you could see some fatigue set in on the Cougars' defense in the second half, depending on how much more we see the Thunderbirds run this football. But to this point, that's been the big difference. They got away from the pass and went more to the run, and they've had some success.
Pretty good kick, and having some trouble grabbing it at the 30-yard line. Forest City trying to get decent position here before the end of the first half. Still lots of time on the clock here. This drive, 2:46. And the ball will be at around the 39-yard line.
Liberty Roundtree with the tackle there, the wide receiver playing special teams as well on the kick coverage. Again, we can't say it enough. The Cougars, 15 players they've gotten back to their team now for the second straight week because of the high school championships. Cougars missing a whole mess of players, and again, this is the second straight week now that they'll have the players back. They got a win last weekend and looking for their second straight win to get to 500.
Not given a decent hand the first couple of games of this season. Finally got into the win column a week ago against Kitchener-Waterloo. They have an 8-point lead here this afternoon. Forest City back on offense, and a little wire crossing there offensively for the Thunderbirds. That ball falls incomplete around the 45-yard line, so 2nd and 10 coming up.
And the wind's starting to pick up here a little bit as well. You can see the flag at the one end by the scoreboard starting to whip around now, and Forest City has the wind at their back.
Band of thunderstorms around Detroit right now, small one, so we'll see if that reaches us or not.
We got the results from Doppler, did we?
Yeah, it's in. We had the results come through and almost intercepted up the middle there, out of the hands of number 74, Denver Brown. That's the second time in this football game that Brown was that close to an interception. It looks like he's starting to figure out. He's had some tough luck here this afternoon.
And that's a nice job by Brown, just spying the quarterback, following his eyes, seeing exactly where Schmidt wants to go with that football, and gets his big left mid out, knocks that one down. And that's a big defensive stand there from the Cougars. You remember they took the safety and kicked it off, and a 2-and-out here from Forest City. The Cougars defense toughens up and able to get the ball back to their offense.
London crawling their way back into this football game. 12 unanswered points. Can't do anything here this time around, so they kick it away. And the Cougars now with some room to return here up to around the 50-yard line on their own side of midfield. A good job by the Cougars again. Konecny doing a good job with special teams this afternoon.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with Konecny's return ability. Again, shows that fearlessness, just running right up into the middle of that return. The special teams players bearing down on him, but Konecny doesn't let it phase him. Does a nice job running right into the teeth of those big linemen coming down, and gets a real nice return and some decent field position here for the Cougars.
Keeping it on the ground, trying to find a seam to move here, getting past the 50-yard line, but just past. A gain of just over a yard. On the ground for the Cougars, 2:07 to go.
Kellett with the carry there.
Kellett with a touchdown in the first quarter for the Cougars.
And boy, that was a good job from Forest City, because it looked like Kellett was going to have a nice big gain there, but a big stop from Forest City.
Quick pass here intended for Anderson, and just out of his reach as he stuck his left hand out and just an inch or two away from his fingertips. And that falls incomplete. 3rd and 9 coming up here. 1:50 left to go in quarter number 2.
That's unfortunate. I think Anderson had some troubles finding that football. I think he was turned the one way, and then it was actually over his outside shoulder. And just looked like he had a tough time spotting it, and then couldn't get both hands up in time to pull it in. So the Cougars force City into a 2-and-out, and then the Thunderbirds return the favor. 2-and-out for Chatham-Kent, and Niven in to kick it away. And into a wind.
And close to being blocked there, but the kick is away. And it gets a Forest City bounce on the other side of the 45-yard line. So a favorable spot on the field there for the Thunderbirds as they begin what could be the final possession of the first half. The Cougars still nursing an 8-point lead. It remains 20-12.
Oh, been a real good football game to this point. This first half, very entertaining. Cougars jumped out to a 20-0 lead. Forest City came back with a couple straight scoring drives and then forced the Cougars into taking a safety for field position purposes. And ever since, they've been duking it out back and forth here. Looks like it's going to set up for a nice, entertaining second half of football. as this first half starts to wind down, but still plenty of time, 1:41 to go. Really enough time for both teams to get another possession depending on what happens.
Junior varsity squads here today. Cougars coming in at 1-2, 2-1 for the Forest City Thunderbirds.
Not sure what's happened here. Looks like the Cougars are keeping the football. Not exactly sure what happened there.
So something on the kick, and so the Cougars still have it, and going down the field, that was well over top of the head of the intended receiver, Jacob Broad.
Yeah, we got some good eyes up here in the booth. Mike Sinclair informing us that the coverage man on the outside actually lined up onside with the kicker and was able to tap it out of bounds, which legally gives the Cougars possession. If you have a coverage man lined up onside with the kicker and he can recover that football or touch it out of bounds, it's Cougars football, and that's exactly what happened.
Short pass at a reception for the Cougars, trying to turn that corner of the 40-yard line and thrown out of the 39, and now some questionable conduct after they cross the out-of-bounds line.
A little back and forth there from Kellett for the Cougars and Griffin Pelly, number 2 for Forest City. Kellett gave the stiff arm, and Pelly didn't like it all that much and gave a little return, a little pushing and shoving after the fact, but no flags, no harm, no foul. That's going to... Oh, now the referees are talking. I didn't see any flags.
I saw actually a couple of flags on, one out of bounds and one in. So
okay.
We'll see what comes of it here.
I'm on my way to Dr. Specs after this game. And they're saying this is against the Cougars.
So third down here.
This is
Ball backs up a considerable amount.
Unnecessary roughness against the Cougars, the call here, which is really surprising because we saw that play out right in front of us here, and certainly players on both sides were equally involved. If I'm a referee, I call that one against each side. I wouldn't single anybody out on that, but I'm not a zebra, so doesn't matter
Maybe
what
you
I
should
think.
be. 3rd and 20 after the dust settles. 1:29 to go in the first half. So 3rd and 20, 54-yard line is where the ball is, 53-yard line. An easy call to punt this one away. It is up, falls around the 35-yard line. That's where London picks it up and getting maybe 5 on the return. Number 87, Jack Keys, with a short return taken out of bounds. And so another short possession offensively.
Good coverage from Niven and Formosa. Of course, Niven the kicker, number 34, and then Formosa, number 18, coming in to finish him off. So 1:19 to go here, and you can certainly feel that the change in temperature in the air here. It almost feels like it's dropped about 5-7 degrees.
Well, the sun's gone away. A couple of fairly dark clouds in the area. The wind's kicked up a little bit, so not quite as unbearable outside as they keep the football on the ground, but a good job by the Cougar defense to swarm, running back at the 40-yard line, and it looks like they've dropped a couple of yards on that play there.
Good job by that Cougars defense. Eventually it was Jake Brush, 48, with the tackle. It's a good pressure there from the Cougars D, getting into the backfield. Nowhere for that running back to go.
Second and a very long 10 as they drop half yard in that last play. They keep it on the ground. And not getting nearly enough for the first down was McGee there as he ran up the middle.
Good tackle there from 44, Alex Villahora, excuse me. Valahora with the tackle. Brings up a big third down. Forest City brings on their punting unit. 55.7 to go and counting.
Kick is up and back to the 30-yard line of Chatham-Kent. Picked up, and Konecki with another solid return, still on his feet, up to midfield and into London territory. As Konecki still impressive on the punt returns here in this first half. And with 29 seconds to go, still a chance here for the Cougars to do something offensively before halftime.
Yeah, Konecki gives him a chance here. A nice return again. Konecki's got some good speed. I like the wheels that he's shown on that return game.
On the 53-yard line of Forest City. Kelton Evans, he will hand it off to Anderson, who has the carry here. Anderson trying to stay on his feet, double teamed, triple teamed, and just barely able to get back to the line of scrimmage. So no gain there.
Yeah, they want to get the ball in the hands of the playmakers. Anderson clearly one of those playmakers. They got Anderson lined up at wide receiver on the far side. They bring him across and hand it off to him coming across the formation. But couldn't outrun the defense there. A good job by Forest City to haul him down. This might be the last play on offense here for the Cougars before the end of the half.
Evans once again scrambling off to his left, trying to find somebody open deep. He finds Anderson, and right as he was stepping out of bounds, he dropped the football. And that will bring up 3rd and 8, 1.4 seconds to go in the first half. So with that that little time left on the clock, they probably just go for it here.
Yeah, and you wonder maybe they play it safe. Not sure. You don't want to throw an interception for a touchdown, but at the same time, maybe you give yourself a shot at scoring. Be interesting to see what the call is here. Maybe you just hand the ball off to run out the last 1.4 seconds here. We'll see.
Quarterback Evans keeping it. Horn ends the first half of football, and a short dump pass.
And now we've got
dropped.
A flag comes in late.
Nate Krieger, the intended receiver. First half is done. Not sure of the call on the flag. Both teams heading off to their respective sidelines for halftime. An entertaining first half of football. The Cougars jumping out to an early 20-0 lead in the first quarter, and London grabbing the second quarter and running with it with 12 unanswered points.
Yeah, it was wildly entertaining, but as you mentioned, it was a tale of two quarters, so it'll be interesting to see what we see from these two clubs in the second half. It's certainly been a close one here, though. These teams look to be very evenly matched at this point. I fully expect an entertaining second half out of these two clubs. A lot of give and take here. Both defenses starting to stiffen up now, and it's really anybody's game.
So halftime, junior varsity Chatham-Kent Cougars 20 and the Forest City Thunderbirds 12. So if the second half is as entertaining as the first, we are in for a great finish of this football game with TV Cogeco on this very warm Saturday afternoon. It's Mike Renier, Mike James. We'll be back with second half action coming up. Back here we are to start the second half. Chatham-Kent Cougars junior varsities today looking to even up their record at 2-2. And an 8-point lead on the Forest City Thunderbirds of 20-12. And the boys from London will have opening possession. A little bobble around the 20-yard line for Forest City. Now picked up and brought to the 35. That's Diamond Grossbeck on the return, so he recovers fairly well to get up to around the 34-yard line. His own side of midfield, 9 seconds into the second half. And as we mentioned, the Cougars grabbing the first quarter with 20 consecutive points, and then Forest City coming back with 12 of their own in the second quarter. So we're going to try and find out what Cougars team shows up here in the third quarter, see if they can kind of bounce back and get some more points on the board.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. As we mentioned there, it was a tale of two quarters first half. It'd be interesting to see how this third and fourth quarter plays out.
Forest City with the opening possession. They keep it on the ground, and a minimal gain from Chase McGee, who's had the lion's share of carries so far in this football game and doing a good job. London keeping it on the ground a lot. McGee with the fair share of the load on the ground.
Good job there, Denver Brown with the tackle, and for a moment there it looked like they had the running back for a big loss, but able to escape a couple of arm tackles, but Denver Brown makes a good tackle and a short gain on first down. Good job for the Cougars defense there on that first play of the second half.
See if the Cougars defense can come up large here after a 3-yard gain for Forest City, faking it to the running back, a completed pass. And is that an incomplete pass or a fumble? The Cougars do recover the football. Let's see how they decide here. I think it might be ruled a turnover here.
Well, at first I thought they'd actually signaled incomplete pass, but looks like they've got that spotted as a fumble. No?
I don't know. That was so very close. At first I thought it was an incomplete pass because it didn't look like he had possession of that football when it went in and out of his hands, and that's, I think, what they're calling.
Boy, that was close. I agree, Mike. It was close. It looked like he had almost had enough time to tuck it, but great job there by the Cougars defense, rallying to the receiver, getting a lid on that football, knocking it loose, and bringing up the third down in the punting situation.
Well, regardless, Cougars going to get the ball back, and the punt is up in the air. As Konecki back to grab it around the 35-yard line, spins and comes back the other way, finding some room to move close to midfield. Konecki getting hauled down around the 52-yard line of the Cougars, and he continues to impress and putting his offense in a position where they have great field position to start the drive.
Boy, that was a great job by Konecki of catching that ball in the air. The wind at the back of Forest City, and Konecki does a great job reeling that ball in, because if he doesn't, it's likely to bounce another 10, 15 yards down the field. Hauls it in, turns it back upfield, and looked like he was going to go. Looked like he had a lane on that far side of the field, but brought down just before he's able to break away. But great job by Konecki here, giving the Cougars good field position.
See if the Cougars can feed off of that return now. Quarterback keeping the football himself. And quickly hauled down was Kelton Evans, dropping about a yard on that quarterback sack.
Yeah, it looked like Evans just dropping back to pass and just get some pressure right up the middle. Nowhere to go with that one. Just forced to tuck it and swallow the sack.
Here's Evans scrambling off to his left, trying to find somebody open, and this one is intercepted by Forest City. The only guy in his area was Liam Spencer, and that was an easy pick for the London defender. There's a flag down on the field after the interception was made. Second key turnover there for the Cougars. And that will end the offensive drive here, just 2.5 minutes into the second half.
We'll have to wait and see. It was after the interception, so I get the feeling this is going to go against Thunder City. And it is. They are marking this off. I think it might have been an unnecessary roughness call against Forest City. I think it was a block on a defenseless player. I think from what I saw anyway, it looked like one of the Cougars had just spun around and took a pretty big hit from one of the Thunderbirds. So they marched that one off, but Forest City takes over on the interception.
keeping it on the ground, leaping over one defender, and getting some positive yards. Chase McGee, and he gets close to first down yardage. And it looks like one Cougar defender is down and slow to get up. Can't see the number from this particular vantage point. Training staff coming out to take a look.
Ethan Bayless, number 20, in on that tackle, as well as number 44, Alex Valahora, and number 53 as well, Dorian Payne. All three of them in on that tackle, and trying to get a number on the Cougar player that's down right now, being tended to.
Well, he asked me, he's like, I need. I said, sorry.
Helmet off and in obvious discomfort on the ground.
Looks like they're looking at the leg of the player that's down.
This is my final speech. No way. Put me back in that part. I'm talking to cell phone. Oh, sorry.
Injury timeout, and the Cougars up by 8. It remains a 20-12 score. Number 74 for the Cougars is now he's into plain sight, and Denver Brown, who's been a key part of the Cougars defense in this football game, up under his own power and seems to be walking just a little slow, a little ginger, but overall hopefully he's going to be okay after appeared to be he was in some serious discomfort there, but the Cougars can't afford Denver Brown to be out for too much.
No, he certainly right, Mike. We've certainly called his name quite a few times here so far today, and the fact that he's walking off under his own power is a good sign, although gingerly, as you mentioned, but not needing the help from any players or staff, which is good news. Maybe we'll see him come back into the game after a little bit of treatment on the sideline.
So here we go, 2nd and 1 now, short yardage to go for the Forest City Thunderbirds, and they keep it on the ground, and well more than the first down yardage, keeping it on the ground with Chase McGee, and he gets all the way to around the 42-yard line of Chatham-Kent as the offense continues to click here for the T-Birds.
It was Ricky O'Rourke, and Zach Konecki in on the tackle, and we see some dark clouds in the distance. We did have a system that we saw moving in on that Doppler that you were showing us.
We had the Doppler up here, the TV Coachco Super Mega Doppler 5000. And a severe thunderstorm warning is actually in place from Environment Canada right now, and it looks like it's heading into the Tilbury area. So we'd be lucky to get this third quarter in before we see any of that stuff. Get as much in as we can before I'm sure we're going to get a weather break, and that's again kept on the ground. Chase McGee getting close to the 30 and close to first down territory. They might have to bring the chains in here to measure this one. This looks to be awfully close from this angle that we're at anyway in the broadcast booth.
And they really continue to attack the left side of that Cougars defense with some pretty good success as the wind starts to kick up a little bit, and those dark clouds becoming more and more ominous in the background, closer to the foreground.
And there's your backup running back, just plowing his way right up the middle, getting the carry was Hayden Archibald for at least the second time in this football game. And he was able to get some serious yardage there on 1st and 10.
Drew Smith and Zach Konecki in on the tackle again, and yeah, that big number 32 for Forest City. He's a load. Hayden Archibald, as we mentioned, 5'9", 195. He's just a north-south runner.
Big D up there, Cougars. Let's go, boys.
Keeping it on the ground once again. Cougars trying to haul down the running back and lifting up the running back. Getting a chuckle there. Chase McGee was actually lifted up by Austin Miller. So is that actually a tackle when you lift up the running back?
Yeah, well, they had the forward momentum stop, so yeah, I guess it counts as a tackle. He's lucky he didn't suplex him.
They need to add a defensive stat, I believe.
Yeah.
Lifting. It's his first lift of the season.
Yeah, and that's exactly why the referees blow the whistle, because they don't want to see anybody get hurt pulling some kind of move after they've lifted him off the ground, slamming him down.
They keep it on the ground once again. Archibald getting the carry. With under 9 minutes to go here in quarter number 3, 20-12, the Cougars still have the lead. But Forest City seems to have the momentum, and they have now for over a quarter after being down by 20-0 at one point in the first quarter. 7-yard pickup that time on the ground by Archibald.
Let's go out there, Cougar D. Come on, boys, let's step up.
Yeah, Forest City is starting to impose their will here a little bit on this Cougars defense.
Quarterback going up the middle, and the pass is caught, heading towards the end zone, and a touchdown for number 87, Jack Keys, as he grabs the pass from Schmidt.
There you go, Jack.
And right after he scores, I think we heard a clap of thunder there.
2 points.
I think that might have been a part of the celebration there for the touchdown.
They brought a giant drum with them.
They call it the Thunder Maker.
Well, they are the Thunderbirds, right?
That's right.
Come on, T-Bird. Great job up there.
So now a 2-point football game. And I think they're lining up to try and tie this football game, trying to punch it into the end zone. They try to run it up the gut. Do they get it in? Looks like they do not. No, signal is they don't get it into the end zone, so the Cougars do retain the lead. But momentum still on the side of Forest City, 18 unanswered points now. And it's a 20-18 football game, so the Cougars will have to find something to work offensively here, trying to change something up and get some more points on this football game, because they've been on their heels now for about a quarter and a half.
And really, again, the Thunderbirds going to that run game to pick up the big yardage. And they go to the pass for the touchdown on that one. It was a nice throw and catch there. The receiver just running a little slant inside, and the quarterback put that right on his hands, able to keep his momentum and run full speed into the end zone. But really, they've gone to the run game here. Forest City, they came out with a passing attack that really wasn't working. They've gone to the run, and they have certainly found some success, and that's really been the difference in this game so far.
Kick is up and fielded by the Cougars, and they're able to get close to the 40-yard line. Good run back by Alex Stronison there. To around the 39-yard line, so that's a starting point for the Cougars here, and this is what you might figure a pivotal offensive possession here for Chatham-Kent.
Yeah, I'm sure the Cougars looking to get something going here on offense, gain a little momentum, and maybe even put some points on the board, no doubt. As you mentioned, Forest City, 18 straight unanswered points here to make it a 2-point game. And the Cougars, not only would it be nice to them to sustain a little bit of a drive here, but also give the defense a break on the sidelines, catch a breather.
Going to the air on 1st and 10, and through the arms of Jake Anderson. He's had a tough day, actually. Anderson's had a couple of close calls, and I think that one he figures he should have been able to pull down.
Well, that's a tough one. That was a good play by the defensive back on that side, Julius Ackman, but I'm sure Anderson feels like any ball in his area should be caught, but Ackman did a good job, the defensive back, again on that side, getting his hand in just as the ball was getting to the receiver and batting that one away.
That's away out there, Cougar on, let's go!
On 2nd and 10, big play here. Pass, short one. Reception, and about halfway towards the first down marker. Forced down to the 45. Picked up by number 24, Mark Kellett, but well short of the first down. That's going to bring up 3rd down and 5, still in Cougar territory. So they just haven't been able to get the wheels in motion here offensively in quite some time.
Boy, that's really a shame because they had a perfect call there. Beautiful screen pass, but somebody missed a block on big number 33, Liam Spencer. He split the two blockers and came in and made the tackle on Kellett. That's really a shame. A great play by Spencer, but that was a beautifully set up offensive play there for Kellett, perfectly executed. And you just need one block right there. Unfortunately, they didn't get it, and the Cougars forced to punt this one away.
Just get that kick away, almost blocked. It will come down around the 35-yard line, bobbled and recovered by number 87, Jack Keys. And so a little break there for the Cougars. They're able to bring Keys down on the 36.
Great job by Konecki there on the coverage after the receiver bobbled that return. We do have a flag on the field. Just waiting to see what that's about. Unnecessary roughness face mask against the Cougars, the call there. So they're going to march this one against Chatham-Kent. And that's a shame.
That will give the Thunderbirds far more favorable field position here. 7:11 to go. First and 10. And now almost intercepted in and out of the hands of number 18, Alex Formosa. So that's the third very near interception by the Cougars here this afternoon. Formosa almost had it.
Boy, that was a beautiful play, too, by Formosa. That ball looked like it was just behind him a little bit. Does a nice job contorting the body in the air, getting both hands on it. Just couldn't pull it in. Able to knock it down, though, for an incomplete pass. And bring up a big second down here. This is a big one for the Cougars. It'd be big for this defense if they could stand stout and force the Thunderbirds into a punt, something that the Thunderbirds haven't had to do a lot of since the first quarter.
Bit of a low snap, dug out by the quarterback. Now he hands it off to the running back, trying to find a seam, and he does that. He's going to get first down and more. Matt Bushell took the ball, ran with it, and found a big, big hole. And first down past the 45-yard line. About the 43 is where the football is in Cougar territory. 6:20 and counting to go here in this third quarter.
Boy, that's a killer for the Cougars. The defense is reading pass all the way, and then they go with the delayed handoff. Forest City does. And then the running back just finds a seam and picks up about 13 yards, a nice big chunky yardage on second down, and gives them a fresh set of downs.
Once again, Bushell getting the call on the ground, but this time the Cougars are ready for him right up the middle. And he runs into some big-time resistance. Looks like that'll be a no-gainer right there, maybe dropping half a yard.
That was big number 50 there with the tackle for the Cougars.
Second and 11, scrambling to his left, keeping the football, quarterback, and Cougars trying to bring him down before the first down. Looks like they were successful in doing that, but maybe a yard shy.
That was a good job over there on that far side. Number 56, Ricky O'Rourke, and some good news. Number 85, Mo Ibari, back in the game. We saw him leave in the first half because of an injury situation, but he's back and in on that tackle right there.
Let's go, White!
Come on, defense! Tough D out there, Cougars. Let's go!
3rd and 1. See if the Cougars can get the big stand here. The running back grabbing it and blowing past the defensive line, picking up the first down. So the chains will be moved, and the drive continues here for Forest City. Down by only 2, and 4:20 left to go in this third quarter.
And earlier we mentioned that big number 50 for the Cougars. That's Nick Kasheri at defensive tackle. And I say big, 6'2", 280.
That is giant. Keeping it on the ground once again, still bumping his feet, getting some big offensive yards there. On the ground for Forest City. Matt Bushel being used quite a bit here in this third quarter on the ground, giving Chase McGee a bit of a breather. It was all McGee on the ground in the first half. And some big gains here in this third quarter for Matt Bushel, number 20.
Formosa and Konecki in on the tackle there, but just this run game, the Cougars defense having a tough time trying to figure it out. And Forest City just sticking with what's working so far.
This time another handoff. This will be Hayden Archibald on the carry, still with it, rumbling towards the end zone, and a touchdown for the Thunderbirds. Somehow eluding everyone and into the end zone, and the Thunderbirds grab the lead for the first time here this afternoon. 24 unanswered points, trying to make it 25.
Well, it's a shame. A whole host of Cougar defenders right there seem to get their hands on him, but just unable to drag him down. You just wonder if fatigue's starting to play a factor now. Forest City just continuing to pound the football, and it certainly wears the defense down, especially those defensive linemen. And just probably starting to take its toll now.
There's the 25th point of the afternoon. The Thunderbirds 25-20 now. Forest City on top. And a far cry from the fast start the Cougars had in the first quarter.
Not to mention, too, that Archibald is a load, as we mentioned, 5'9", 195 for a running back. He is not going to be easy to bring down, but you got to find a way to wrap him up, make them work for that TD, and again, you got to figure fatigue playing into that one a little bit for the Cougars defense.
It looks like an injured Thunderbird now walking off under his own power. And Spencer Beer, wide receiver for the Forest City squad. Looks like he's going to be all right. 3:10 left to go in this third quarter. 25-20. Forest City up on Chatham-Kent.
Don't give me anything with liquid today.
Good kick right straight ahead. Falls all the way into the end zone of Chatham-Kent. And electing to run it out. Good job by the Cougars. Great run, all things considering, grabbing that football halfway in the end zone. And Cougars able to turn that into some decent field position, all things considered.
Yeah, nice return, as you mentioned, Mike. Boy, the kicker got a hold of that one, going all the way into the end zone. Showing some real patience, too, before running it out was Konecki. Everybody keeping an eye on the sky in the distance.
Looks like it's over Lake St. Clair right now.
Let's go, Bear offense!
First and 10, 16-yard line. Deep into Cougar territory as they look to scramble back into this football game, now trailing by 5. Quick pass caught by Jake Anderson, a very short pass. Right on it was the Forest City defense.
Yeah, the Cougars, it seems when they've tried to attack the edges, this Forest City defense has really shown their speed from sideline to sideline. Cougars not really able to bust anything around the edges. And now we hear a roar of thunder in the
more frequent thunder in the area.
background.
We'll be lucky to get the third quarter in before we maybe get a weather delay. Nice pass, but again, too far. Well out of the reach of Jake Anderson as he's getting a lot of footballs in his general area, but more often than not, they fall incomplete, just being overthrown too much.
Yeah, that one about 2 steps ahead of him, and he had about 2 steps on any defender near him, but unfortunately not able to connect there. Evans and Anderson. All it takes is one big one, though, and it's only a 5-point game at this point, so.
2 minutes even to go in quarter number 3.
This is going to be big here for the Cougars with Niven in there to kick this one away. Try and pin Thunder City back.
Niven gets under it. And dropped by Forest City at their own 50, getting to the 50. And Chatham-Kent, big hit there. Good job by 81 for the Cougars as Nate Whittall gets his shoulder into it and knocking down Jack Keys.
It was a good job by Konecki also getting down there and putting pressure on that return man. And then Whittall came in and cleaned it up at the end. Good coverage from the Cougar special teams, but Forest City, not Thunder City, going to have great field position here.
I could see where you get confused, though, Michael, because this could turn into Thunder City here pretty soon. It's almost a race against the storm here. 1:25 left in quarter 3. Good field position here. The boys from London, they keep it on the ground. Back with it is Chase McGee. Waiting for him, a couple of defenders from Chatham-Kent, so little to no gain. Maybe he got a yard on that run, half a yard.
Nick Kucheri leading the tacklers in that one along that defensive line for the Cougars. This is going to be a big series right here for Chatham-Kent. They've got another 2nd and long here. Unfortunately, last time they had Forest City in this position, Forest City was able to pick up big chunk of yardage. This is a big stop here for the Cougars if they can get it.
2nd and 9. They go to the air and intercepted by the Cougars. Number 18, Alex Formosa, who just a few minutes ago almost had a pick, but it went through his hands. He gets redemption there as Formosa picks it off, and that is giant for the Cougar defense.
You're right. That is absolutely huge. The Cougars needed that. They needed somebody to come up with a big play, shift the momentum here, and Formosa did it. You mentioned that he had a chance. Looked like almost the exact same play, to be honest with you, last time, only this time he's able to make the catch and give the Cougars offense the football. And maybe that's just the big play that the Cougars needed here to shift the momentum. Maybe the offense comes out and comes up with a big play themselves. But you needed somebody to come up with a big play. Formosa does that for the Cougars defense. Now the offense, it's their turn.
They've got to put something together here in the waning seconds of the 3rd quarter. They go to the air. This one is complete, close to the 50-yard line. And the ball comes loose. I believe the play whistled down, however, so no fear of a turnover. A completed pass to very close to the 50-yard line.
Looks like that catch made by St. John Roundtree, number 80, for a gain of about 3 yards, they'll say. And that's a good job by Forest City. As soon as the catch is made, they're there to make the tackle, so no yards after the catch. But the Cougars able to complete that pass, which is a positive sign. Brings up a big 2nd down and 7 here.
And this will be the final play of this 3rd quarter. And a pivotal one at that here for the Cougars as it's thrown back to the running back, and he is brought down in a big way, so a big loss as it was thrown back to Mark Kellett, and he was hauled down, so that did not work on 2nd and 7. Dropped back for at least a 5-yard loss, maybe more. Bringing it into the 3rd quarter, and things offensively not getting any better for Chatham-Kent.
Boy, that's a shame. They pitched that back to Kellett, as you mentioned. Not sure if he was going to try to run that or actually roll out to the right and throw that. A bit of trickery, but didn't even have a chance to look either way. Good pressure from Forest City getting into the backfield, and Kellett just had nowhere to go. Before you knew it, he was pulled down to the ground and looked like a loss of about 8 yards on that play, and brings up a 3rd down, and the Cougars going to have to punt this one away. And worth taking note here, the Cougars, both cover men on either side are lined up onside with the kicker, so they can recover it.
An excellent kick here for Chatham-Kent. Bounces out past the 30-yard line of Forest City. So a strong kick and strong special teams here for the Cougars.
Yeah, great job by Niven. Kicking that ball on that near sideline and bounces just out of bounds at about the 28-yard line. So Forest City going to have a long way to go here, giving this Cougars defense a chance to come up with another big stop.
Keeping it back on the ground is London, and actually the quarterback kept it, and a huge sack. He faked it.
Boy, had me fooled there.
I was following the wrong running back, and falling down was Jack Keys. Well behind the line of scrimmage. That is 15-yard, pardon me, an 11-yard drop. So 2nd and 21. What a massive defensive play there for the Cougars, not only in that sack, but they back up the football in a big way deep into London territory.
Yeah, Austin Miller with the huge tackle there for a loss. That's a massive play for this Cougars defense.
2nd and 21, looking to go to the air, the middle, and it's intercepted once again by the Cougars. 2nd straight interception deep into Forest City territory. Didn't see who that interception was hauled in by.
Did not get a number on that one. I actually thought it was Formosa again, but I couldn't tell.
I'm wondering if O'Rourke pulled that one in.
Come on, defense, you can do it, guys.
Maybe O'Rourke, I'm not sure, getting the official word, but Cougars do have the football at the 15-yard line of Forest City. So here is a great chance as they keep it on the ground and up the middle. Getting some big yardage here on 1st and 10.
Nice run there from Jacob Broad.
Getting football even deeper here to Forest City territory. Trying to turn the tide here. Cougars down by 5. 25 consecutive points here for the Thunderbirds. 13-18. Still plenty of time left to go in this 4th quarter. Skies darkening. Looks like some showers and storms on their way. Beating the clock here, beating the storm. Now they keep it on the ground towards the end zone. Touchdown, Cougars!
There is a flag on the play, though. 2 flags, actually. This might be going against Forest City, though, on the tackle. Nice block by the fullback there to get Kellett into the end zone, but we'll wait on the flags. I think it might have been on the tackle, to be honest with you, for Forest City. Might have been a face mask or even a horse collar, not sure. Just waiting on the call here.
This would put the Cougars back in the lead. Kellett punching it into the end zone.
I have not... We're just waiting on the signal from the referees what the flags were for. It looks like we're taking a break for lightning now. We've got some lightning in the region.
And it looks like a band of storms are coming.
And the touchdown does count.
All right, so the touchdown is on the board, so we're heading into a weather break with the Cougars back on top. They will go for the extra points after the weather break, and I believe it's a 30-minute right off the top because we've had some lightning in the distance around Lake St. Clair, so that's been visible. And by rules, keeping safety first, a 30-minute break until I believe the last lightning strike is visible. So this could be a lengthy break as this storm looks like it's going to be passing over here.
Well, boy, that was a big drive for the Cougars right there to get the touchdown. The penalty was against the Forest City Thunderbirds. It was a horse collar on the tackle, so the touchdown from Kellett counts. Oh, a big strike of lightning we just had in the distance there. So everybody being asked to leave the field area, asked to leave the stands, take cover, and, of course, safety paramount here. And as you mentioned, Mike, at least a half-hour break we're going to have. And looks like a pretty sizable band of storms that we have coming through the area. So interesting to see how long this delay is going to last.
So we will bring you the conclusion of the football game when the football game is being concluded. After the storm passes through, the Cougars have regained the lead. Some momentum back in their favor. 13:03 remaining in the fourth quarter. Cougars up by 1, 26-25 in the Forest City Thunderbirds. Mike Renier, Mike James, and the rest of the TV Coach Go broadcast booth. We will bring you the finish of the game coming up a little bit later on.
Let's go out there, Cougars.
Their delay is over. The Cougars trying to get the extra point off of that touchdown right before the weather delay. And the defense stomps it for the Forest City Thunderbirds. So we're back underway and a 1-point lead for Chatham-Kent.
Yeah, the Cougars going for 2 points there because, as you mentioned, a 1-point lead would have made it 3 points, giving them a field goal lead, but unsuccessful there. Good job by the Thunderbirds defense. So Cougars holding on to that 1-point lead. 13:03 to go here in the fourth quarter. That weather delay, what, about 40 minutes approximately?
Better safe than sorry. Didn't really see much of it. In the area, some lightning strikes above Lake St. Clair in the distance. So better safe than sorry. Taking a half-hour plus break, and hopefully things stay away until the end of this football game here. Cougars turning things around after giving up 25 straight points. That touchdown gives them a lead again, 26-25.
And there was a penalty on the extra point attempt, so the Cougars moving up here for the kickoff.
And a good kick taken by the Thunderbirds, getting up to around the 30-yard line and past it, still on the feet. Around the 30-yard line is where the Thunderbirds will start this latest drive after the weather delay, so we'll see how these two teams come out of that extended break.
Well, we mentioned during the break, speaking off the air, that we figured the edge would go to the Cougars, having to feel good about themselves going into that break with the lead. If you remember, scoring that touchdown just before they called the game for the weather delay, and Cougars coming back out on the field with that 1-point lead.
Keeping it on the ground is London, and a couple yards gain. Number 56 for the Cougars, helping with the tackle. That's Ricky O'Rourke, helping to bring down the running back. 4-yard gain, so a 2nd and 6 situation here.
Yeah, Randy Cartier and Michael Lett also in on that tackle. Good job by the Cougars D there on that first down run from the Thunderbirds.
See if the Cougars D can get a stand here. They keep it on the ground once again. And again, 2 and maybe 3 Cougar defenders wrapping up the running back, I should say, just crossing the 30-yard line. So a big second down stand for the Cougars D. And it appears no gain there, so 3rd down and 6. And the Thunderbirds to kick it away.
Good job there by Denver Brown, number 74, getting the penetration into the backfield, and then Austin Miller cleaning it up, forcing the punting situation here from Forest City.
Kick is up, comes down around midfield, and Cougars letting it go past the 50-yard line and back into Forest City territory. There's Zach Konecki, who's had a great game here on special teams and on kick returns, punt returns, and he keeps that going as he gets it into London territory.
So nice field position here for the Cougars. their first possession after the weather delay. On the Forest City side of the field, they'll take over at about the 53-yard line. Last time we saw this Cougars offense on the field, they drove the ball for a touchdown. It was their first since the first quarter of this football game.
Dropping back to pass, trying to find the receiver open and off the fingertips of the intended receiver, Jake Anderson, and he's had a bunch of those here today, just out of his reach or a couple off of his fingertips, and that could have set up a big play there if he was able to hold that one in.
Boy, if Evans had just been able to throw that one a little straighter down the field as opposed to more toward the corner, that was going to be right into his basket, and he would have been gone. But unfortunately, a little bit more outside. Not sure if Anderson maybe was supposed to run to the corner, but just missing on that passing play.
Rolling off to the left, throwing it down the field, and a penalty flag as Anderson might have been interfered with as Kelton Evans had a pretty good throw there. Reaction from the crowd would seem that this is going against Forest City.
Yeah, I believe
some interference.
Yeah, I believe that's going to be a pass interference in the area where that flag is. Griffin Pelly is the defensive back who was on Anderson there, and that is the call. They're going to march this one against Forest City, so that's a first down for the Cougars. The referee's just making sure they're counting it right from the 53-yard line, so it's a 15-yard penalty.
That will bring it to the 38-yard line of the Forest City Thunderbirds. Cougars want to keep this momentum going. Already a touchdown in this fourth quarter. 11 minutes and counting left to go in this football game. Cougars looking for their second consecutive victory, winning in KW last week. Here's Evans with the handoff as they run it up the gut past the 35-yard line.
Nice push there from the middle of that offensive line of the Cougars. Carrying the ball was Jacob Broad. He's had a couple nice runs in this game so far.
Picks up a solid 3 on the ground. And a key second down coming up here offensively for Chatham-Kent. 2nd and 7 from the 35-yard line. Evans going to the far side, and again, well overthrowing his intended receiver, Trevor Nevin. That was about 5 yards over top of his head and well out of his reach.
Yeah, that's a shame because Nevin definitely had his man beat by a couple steps. Just the ball just a little bit long there and falls incomplete. Brings up a big third down here for the Cougars. Decision time. It wouldn't surprise me if I saw them go for it. Right now with the ball at Forest City's 35-yard line.
They're fairly deep into Forest City territory. 3rd down and 7, 35-yard line. And they are going to kick it away. And getting the kick away, high kick, right close to the goal line. And Forest City bringing it back to the 25, about the 29-yard line is where number 12 for Forest City, Grayson Hurd, is brought down by a couple of defenders for Chatham-Kent. So that's where Thunderbirds will start off this latest offensive possession, 26-25. The Cougars up by 1. Good football game here defensively for the Cougars. Coming up big when they have to. And that will be heightened that much more here in the fourth quarter.
Pressure, Austin, pressure. Let's go now, Cougar D. Step up big here, boys. Dig in.
Keeping it on the ground with the quarterback, and he takes a shot at the 30-yard line. Keeping it was Ben Schmidt. And the Cougars D able to snuff that one out right from the start there. So good tenacious D after about a 1-yard pickup there offensively for London.
Yeah, good job by the defense. Denver Brown making the tackle, number 74. A little quarterback option there. Decides to drop back. Looks like it's going to be a pass, but then looks like it ended up being a called run. So they fake the pass, and the quarterback keeps it, looking to catch the defense off guard. But good job by the Cougars D, not fooled at all.
2nd and 9. Crowd getting behind the Cougars here at the athletic complex, and this one goes high in the air. Picked off by the Cougars at midfield. And bringing that one down, it looks like that was Zach Konecki, who had all day to camp under that one, thrown very high in the air and positioned perfectly to bring that one down. Or was that Formosa? Sorry, 18, not 19. So Formosa, and I believe that's also his 2nd INT of the day.
That's correct, Mike. It is Formosa's 2nd pick of the day. As you mentioned, that ball just almost thrown straight up in the air, a bit of a prayer there. And not really what the Thunderbirds needed, but the Cougars will take it. Formosa showing his leaping ability. Great ups right there to get that ball at its highest point, and then decent return, too, considering a bunch of Thunderbirds around him.
Cougars keeping it on the ground, busting through the middle. Number 33 on the carry, Jacob Broad, getting a few carries here in the 4th quarter. And he actually gets a fair chunk of yardage there. At least 5 on the ground.
I like what the Cougars have done here. They've gone a little bit more run-heavy now in their offense. And I like it because you're going to wear down that London defense a little bit more. And you're not as predictable on offense. I really like the change that they made here in the 2nd half.
Flag is quickly down after the snap, rolling off to his left, trying to find some room, and dumping off the pass at completion along that far side. Picked up by Roundtree. Flag is down.
I think this might be going against the Cougars here. Yeah, I think it might be a procedure call. But the referee's discussing it. I'm not sure if we've got a separate flag or if it's on the same infraction. We'll have to wait and see. They're talking it over right now, as you can see. Oh, they're going to... Oh, we've got flags on either team here. We've got an offside on Forest City.
So the ball is going to rest at the 51 of London.
Okay, so we had an illegal forward pass against the Cougars. They're saying that Evans had already crossed the line of scrimmage when he threw that ball. And then we had the offside against London, and it ends up being a 5-yard penalty against the Cougars, the differential between the 2 penalties.
So 2nd down and 9 here for Chatham-Kent. Pass is complete up the middle, and that's going to be enough for the 1st down as it comes to the 35. And now late after the play's completion, a flag comes out after Nate Whittall brings that pass down. A late flag. So that leads me to believe that the infraction happened after the play was done.
Yeah, it's a personal foul against London. Or Forest City, I apologize.
So that's going to march the football down, I believe, 15 more yards and get even deeper into Thunderbirds territory.
That's well done there, and that was a face mask against the defense for the Thunderbirds. So a nice passing catch there from Evans to Whittall. Whittall, big receiver. He's a big target, 6'1", 185, listed as the tight end. And quarterbacks love their tight ends. You just sit them down right in the middle of that defense. They're a nice big target, and Whittall does a nice job pulling it in.
Keeping it on the ground, starting off at the 21-yard line. Ball comes across the 20 with just under 7.5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Cougars up by 1 in a back-and-forth football game. Very entertaining. And Mother Nature being relatively kind here. There was a brief weather delay, but it could have been a fair bit worse with some storms in the general area. Not really hitting here. Now goes up in the air. Pass is dropped, heading towards the end zone, almost grabbing it. Was Anderson heading towards the end zone. He bobbled it right when he was going across the goal line. And it falls incomplete, so a third down coming up here as the ball remains at the 18-yard line.
Boy, Anderson, it looked like Anderson had it. And the defender got his hands on it as well, and they were fighting for the football. And Anderson just couldn't hold on to it. Good play by the defender there to knock that ball away from Anderson. Nearly a TD for the Cougars. They'll have to settle for the field goal attempt here from Niven.
Kick is up, and it is through. 3 more points for the Cougars. And that opens up a 4-point edge now for Chatham-Kent, 29-25. With 6:33 remaining in quarter number 4.
Nice job there by the holder, and then Niven putting that one through.
So after 25 in a row for Forest City, Cougars have now reeled off the last 9 points. And a 4-point edge as they try to get 2 consecutive wins and knot up the record this season at 2-2. Junior varsity, Chatham-Kent Cougars. And at the same time trying to drop London to 2-2.
Sounded like too many twos there, Mike.
Get confusing very easily. Running play here for Forest City along that far side. Flag down on the field around the 45-yard line. It was handed off to Chase McGee. And he got a few yards on the ground. We'll see what the the orange laundry has to do here.
Yeah, I didn't catch it on the play itself. It's going against Forest City. Not sure if it was a hold or a block in the back. We'll see. Likely a hold. Okay, it was a hold.
First and 20 coming up here. Ball at the 25-yard line as it gets backed up.
Come on now, Cougars. Big D up there, boys. Let's go.
Faking the handoff, now going to the air down the field, and another flag right at midfield. And this one looks like it's going against the Cougars. 2 flags right at midfield.
I got to say, if that flag, wow, that's...
Pass intended for Grossbeck as he was going right down the middle. And a pass interference here against the Cougars.
You certainly could have called that one differently. Although, no, it looks like I'm going to say they got it right. I'm going to take that. No, and again, I'm going to change my mind.
We'll let you work it out, James.
That from the vantage point up here, I could have seen that one maybe being called a little bit differently, but the
Football comes up to the 40-yard line.
The receiver, from this angle anyway, it looked like the receiver gave up on the play, and the defensive back had done a nice job making his way to the football. The football is free for both players to make a play on.
And off to the running back once again. He crosses the 40-yard line, but doesn't get much more than that as Chase McGee gets another carry.
It's a nice tackle there from Alex Formosa, number 18.
Great job up there, defense. Keep it up, boys.
Get that ball back, boys. Come on.
Second down and 9. Another big play here defensively for the Cougars. 41-yard line of Forest City. 5:08 to go in quarter number 4. Quarterback hands it off once again to the running back and stumbles past the 40-yard line. And this will bring up 3rd and long here for Forest City. So another good job defensively for the Cougars when they needed to step up.
Good job there for Mosa and Austin Miller getting in the backfield, making the tackle, and that pass interference call doesn't come back to haunt them. Great job by the Cougars D, maintaining their composure, more than what I can say for myself, and forcing Forest City into a punting situation.
Punt is up. And a short one comes down around midfield. A bouncing football, and Cougars able to grab it.
That's going to be a no yards against Forest City, I believe, as well.
Ricky O'Rourke pouncing on it. No yards call, 4:38 to go in quarter number 4. Another flag out the field. See what the call is here on the field. Ball resting at the 45.
Yeah, they're going to march this one against Forest City. This was the no yards call, I believe, on the punt.
So a key offensive possession here for the Cougars if they can get a major here. Setting things up to look pretty positively as we're under 5 minutes to play here in quarter number 4.
Again, I like what the Cougars have done here. I apologize, Mike. I like what the Cougars have done here in the second half. They mixed the run in a little bit more, and it's made Forest City. And the fact is that they've had success with it. The fact that they've had success with it, it means that Forest City's defense has had to pay attention to the run as a possibility. Before, they were just teeing off on the pass. The Cougars were going pass heavy. They've gone with a little more balance here in the second half, and it's put the defense on their heels a little bit. It's allowed the Cougars to mix up their offensive play calling a little bit more, and I think that's where you're seeing the success coming from now.
Timeout done. Here we are with the Cougars. 35-yard line. Excellent field position here. Fairly deep into London territory as they hand it off. And a swarming London defense.
Bring up second and about 12.
Two-yard loss on the carry there for Chatham-Kent. 37-yard line is where they are. Second down and 12. Cougars up by 4. Second and long here for the Cougars, dropping back to pass. Screen pass for the Cougars. And it is complete, but well short of the first down. That one grabbed by Mark Kellett. And London able to ensure first down does not happen. Third. About 5 coming up here. Actually, less than 5.
About 3. Third and 2 for the Cougars at the Forest City 20.
So decision time here for Chatham-Kent with third, and actually it's about two yards away. Do you just go for it here?
Almost even a 1, really. I mean, I would, if I'm the Cougars here, I mean, it's a tough call. I mean, you just made a field goal close to this distance previously, but I like the gutsy call here. Go for it.
Third and 1, big play right here. They keep it on the ground, and they're not going to get it. Swarming defense by the Thunderbirds, and a turnover on downs as they saw that one right from the beginning. So the Forest City Club getting the football back in their own territory, and the Cougars coming up short. Nothing to show for here.
That's a big stop there from Forest City. You got to give them credit, but the Cougars, with all the momentum there, banking on that running game, which they've had success with in the second half. But Forest City coming up with a big play when they needed it, just like we've seen the Cougars do the same here in the second half. They've had some big plays go their way. This time it's the Thunderbirds making one and giving the ball to that offense, trailing just by 4 with 3:15 and counting to go here in this football game.
First and 10 for the Thunderbirds. Looking to get some points on the board late in this fourth quarter. Quick dump pass up the middle, and they cross the 30-yard line.
Gain about 5, bring up second and 5. We're at the 3-minute warning now.
3 minutes even to go, fourth quarter. Cougars clinging to a 4-point lead.
Sorry, they might look like they were setting up a middle screen. Quarterback takes the snap, drops back like he's feeling the pressure. The offensive line lets a couple guys go free. Let them think they've got the pressure on the quarterback. You just dump it off to the receiver right in the middle. And then you've got it blocked for a big gainer. But a good job by the Cougars defense sniffing it out and only allowing a short gain.
2nd and 6. Quarterback looking to pass, going up in the air down the middle. Jump ball and almost coming down in the hands of the receiver of the Cougars, and it is intercepted. So it bounces around a bit. Interception for the Cougars, their 3rd of the afternoon. And the Cougars will get the football right back, still in Forest City territory, the 52-yard line. Big pick.
Great poise there from Zach Konecki coming up with the pick, number 19. You saw a couple defenders there. The other defender, I think, was Robbie Wright. And they get the ball batted up in the air. That's why you do that tip drill in practice. They get the ball batted up in the air, and Konecki maintains his poise, keeps his eye on the football, realizing it's still alive, pulls it in, and gives the ball to the offense with 2:35 to go here in this football game. The Cougars up by 4.
Trying to get a big offensive drive going here. Not going to happen on the first play as they're backed up a couple of yards on the ground. Looks like they're back just in their own territory. 2:31 left to go in the second quarter. Now, Cougars just want to get as much time off the clock as they can.
Yeah, big push from that defensive line of London. They realize what's hanging in the balance here. If the Cougars are able to put a major on the board, be tough to come back. Big second down here.
Right in midfield. Kelton Evans to pass, and again, just overthrowing the intended receiver, Jake Anderson, by a little bit. Frustrating afternoon for Jake Anderson. He's had the ball just out of his reach a number of times so far.
Yeah, that one just out of his reach. Just unable to haul it in. So 2:12 to go here, and the Cougars going to have to punt it away. Not able to take a lot of time off the clock after that big interception from Konecki.
Had a huge opportunity there. Wasn't able to do much of anything with it, so Forest City will get the football back. Lots of time to work with it.
Looks like Chatham-Kent calls timeout here.
Timeout, Chatham-Kent.
So they've had back-to-back chances to, for all intents and purposes, put this football game away, and just for whatever reason, they weren't able to put some things together offensively.
Yeah, you hope that doesn't come back to haunt them, but credit the Forest City Thunderbirds defense. They've really toughened up here in the last part of this fourth quarter. Despite some big plays from the Cougars defense, Thunderbirds defense has been equally tough here. The Cougars got 2 men lined up onside with the kicker, should they get to the ball in time.
And the snap is very low, and that's a broken play here. And now he does kick it. That's an amazing play there by the kicker. And here's a chance up the middle for Forest City. They're able to get the football past the 50-yard line, but a small victory for the Cougars just to get that punt away in an amazing amount of trouble.
Wow, what a great job by Niven to get that ball away. And then a fabulous tackle by Anderson, really a touchdown-saving tackle, or else the return man was maybe gone. I don't think there was anybody else on that side. So, wow, a couple big plays from a couple players for the Cougars there. Niven, first of all, getting that kickoff, and then Anderson with the big tackle.
Boy, you can't anticipate what we just saw in that last play there. You can't draw that one up. 2:05 to go. The crowd for both teams ramping up here as this is your football game, and pass in a whole bunch of traffic there just off the fingertips of Trevor Niven. And an incomplete pass there for Forest City, so 2nd and 10.
Yeah, good job by Niven. Get that big left mid up. Knock that ball down, falls incomplete. Not sure there was even a receiver in the area there that was going to pull it in, but nonetheless, a good job by Niven to make sure nobody was going to get their hands on it.
D having to come up big here once more for the Cougars on 2nd and 10. Pressure on the quarterback, dances out of trouble, goes up into the air, another jump ball, and in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. There is a flag on the play. That one intended for McGee.
And that should be an offensive pass interference there. The wide receiver shoved the defensive back in the back as he went up to bat the ball out of the air. So I'd expect this one to go back against Forest City.
This one's going back 15.
And that is the call there. Wide receiver, again, pushed the defensive back in the back as he jumped up to tip the ball out of the air.
Bring up 3rd and 10.
So the Cougars decline that penalty.
Let's go, boys.
Make it a 3rd and 10. It's a tough call. Do you make it 2nd and 20 or do you go 3rd and 10? They decide to go 3rd and 10 here.
And Forest City going for it on 3rd and 10, rolling off to his right. Quarterback and almost a complete pass and a drop pass. Pretty good try there by Schmidt, trying to find his man down that far side and just in and out of the hands of the receiver. And that means the Cougars get the football back with under 2 minutes to go.
Defense gets the job done again for the Cougars. They've done a great job here in the second half. That pass falls incomplete. Even if the receiver had pulled it in, looked like the Cougars had a couple defenders in the area. Looked like it was going to come up short anyways. But again, that pass falls incomplete. Thunderbirds defense comes back out on the field, as does the Cougars offense. And you can really feel the excitement in the air here on alumni night.
Stay tough on that line. Come on.
The stands are packed, and they've got an exciting game here on their hands.
And this is just the first of 2 here at the complex on this Saturday, as the varsity squad having their big alumni deal tonight. And a 3-yard gain for the Cougars on the run up the middle, bringing the football to the 47.
That was Jacob Broad with the carry, running back, 5'10", 170. Broad's had some good runs today, as has Kellett, number 24, carrying the load on the ground for the Cougars today.
Quarterback scrambling, some pressure in front of him, and now he's just going to throw it away. Found nobody. Kelton Evans playing it relatively safe. There's a flag down.
We might have a... Is it intentional grounding?
No grounding. It'll be lost it down at the spot where the ball was thrown. Bring up 3rd down.
So Evans. So 3rd down at 19 here for the Cougars. They're not making things easy for themselves or the fans here. Still giving a glimmer of hope to Forest City. 1:23 to go in the 4th quarter.
Yeah. And if you're the kicker here, Niven, you want him to kick that ball out of bounds. You don't want any kind of big return here, and you want to pin Forest City back. You're going to look for pressure. Look at this. They're loading up the middle of that box here. Forest City almost looks like they had them lined up offside, to be honest. And that kick is going out of bounds. Good job right there.
29-yard line, it comes out.
First and 10 at their own 30.
Not a bad spot if you're the Cougar defense to have that football for Forest City.
No, that's a good job right there. The ball going out of bounds at the 30-yard line, because the last thing you want to do is put the ball in the hands of the return man with a chance to make a huge play with just 1:18 to go in this game. Kick the ball out of bounds, get your defense on the field, and let them do the job.
Gotta stay tough and hungry out there, boys. Let's go.
Here comes the game here, and a pass is caught as Ackman makes the reception for Forest City. 7-yard pickup and 2nd and 3. 1:11 left to go.
Of course, Forest City hurrying to the line of scrimmage here. They don't want to waste any time, trailing by 4 with just about a minute to go.
Ben Schmidt, the quarterback, dropping back to pass it. Intercepted if he hung on to it. And they did.
43.
Intercepted by the Chatham-Kent Cougars. Was that Brown on the pick?
I believe it was Jake Brush, 48, who made the snag there, giving the Cougars offense the football.
So Brush with the INT, 43-yard line. 42 is where they're calling it here.
So we'll see here the Cougars, you figure they're going to keep the ball on the ground, and obviously London going to be thinking the same.
60 seconds left in the fourth quarter. They keep it on the ground. And defense swarming, absolutely nowhere to go for the running back for the Cougars, Mark Kellett, who's had a pretty good game so far here, but nowhere to go right there.
No, not a lot of room there.
Thunderbirds taking a timeout here, 56.2 seconds left to go in this fourth quarter, and that time can't tick down fast enough if you're Chatham-Kent.
No, certainly not. Cougars gonna need at least one first down here to kill out this clock. Obviously, as we mentioned, Forest City using their timeout to stop the clock. It's gonna be a big play here coming up. Be interesting to see if the Cougars keep the ball on the ground or if they decide to go to the air to try to get that first down and ice this game away.
Back and forth game, 20-0 after the first quarter for Chatham-Kent. Forest City came storming back with 25 unanswered points, and now it's been 9 unanswered for the Cougars.
It is big second down right here.
Back to pass, now in a lot of trouble. Still scrambling backwards and finally being thrown to the ground at his own 45-yard line. Kelton Evans found absolutely nobody and a giant sack there.
Boy, that's not what you wanted to have happen there. Big loss.
Timeout Forest City, their last timeout.
You know, you had a chance to pin Forest City back even further. Now you're going to have to punt. I mean, should that ball fall incomplete, that's 18 yards you just gave up on a potential kick.
3rd and 30. 48.4 seconds left on the clock. Still lots of time here for the Thunderbirds, so defense has to come up big here for the Cougars.
I mean, final 2 minutes of a football game, every play just so critical. Can't be stressed enough. Every play, every mistake just magnified that much more. And Cougars take a big loss there, and we'll see if they can bounce back right here.
And another bouncing snap there. Quarterback, or the punter able to get it away, and the ball bounces out of bounds at around the 40-yard line or thereabouts. So here's a big chance here for the Cougars defense to ice this football game if they can come up large.
Well, they've certainly made big plays here in this second half. They're just going to need, looks like, one more. With 41.3 to go.
Quarterback Schmidt trying to find his man, and it goes in and out of the hands of Jack Keys, who's had the football thrown to him quite a bit here this afternoon, and Keys couldn't haul it in. He turned around to face the quarterback a little too late there.
That was a good throw, too, by Schmidt. Put it right on the receiver's hands, but the receiver had to turn back to the quarterback, and it's kind of right in the middle of that defense where you know you could probably hear some footsteps coming. Might have heard some footsteps, perhaps, right in the area where that linebacker might be sitting.
38 seconds left, 2nd and 10. Schmidt back to pass, and he's able to. No, the receiver unable to haul that one in. Intended by Matt McFarland was the receiver that was trying to haul that one in. 3rd and 10. Here's your game right here with the clock at 33.2 seconds left.
There's Formosa in on the coverage there, I believe, on that far side. A pass a little bit low for the receiver.
Third and 10. Here's Schmidt going to the air. And pass caught at around the 52-yard line, so that will move the chains here for Forest City. 28 seconds left to go in fourth quarter.
Big play there. That is enough. It was about a yard or two more than what they needed. Give them a fresh set of downs.
Big D out there, Cougars. Come on now, boys. 28 seconds. Let's go. 28.
Clock back in motion. 25 seconds and counting left to go in the fourth quarter. Here's Schmidt, back to pass, going up in the air along the near side. And again, oh, it's almost intercepted as it goes in and out of the hands of Justice Cumming, who almost hauled that one in, and that would have sealed the deal for the game. Couldn't haul it in, so the Thunderbirds still have it. 16.9 seconds left.
Oh, Cumming had it, and it looked like he had possession. He had the hardest part done. He had the ball in his hands, just pulling it into his body, and somehow it just slipped away.
Here's Schmidt going to the far side. It is caught at the 45-yard line. That will be enough again to move the chains to around the 43-yard line. Down to 10.5 seconds left to go.
Is this where they just launch it up to the end zone? I mean, this 4 points, obviously field goal's not going to do it for you. Just send everybody deep now.
Clock
Maybe
back in motion.
Pitch
This
and ladder.
Could be your last one here. Here's Schmidt at the 50-yard line and a whole bunch of traffic. He is brought down as the time expires. And one more play here. This will be the final play of this game. No, the game is over. It is now signaled over. So officially the Cougars hang on to win. 29-25 in a very exciting football game here, as your junior varsity Chatham-Kent Cougars evening up their record this season at 2-2, and the Forest City Thunderbirds, boys from London, dropping their record to the same record of 2-2. Back and forth, Cougars off to an amazing start in the first quarter. Thunderbirds came back in the second and third, but the fourth quarter largely belonging to Chatham-Kent with that weather delay in the middle.
Yeah, certainly the big touchdown coming just before that weather delay, and the Cougars scoring the final 9 points of this game, and that really proved to be the difference. The Cougars responded here in the fourth quarter, pulled this one out. Interestingly enough, all of the points scored at the east end of this field.
All of it.
All of them.
54 points in this football game, all going in one direction, and a big win for the Cougars. So that weather delay not able to derail the Cougars in their momentum as they came back from a 25-20 deficit after the third quarter, that 40-minute break, and they kept their focus. They had the chances to really blow this one open, but they were able to hang on. Yeah,
great job by the Cougars. Phenomenal football game, really, to maintain their composure after having that 20-0 lead, and then Forest City coming all the way back and then jumping out in front. Outstanding job by the Cougars to maintain their composure and then pull this one off at the end, and especially the fourth quarter was so huge for them. Some big plays by the defense. The interceptions were huge for this Cougars D. The secondary played phenomenal. Good pressure from the defensive line, and the linebackers making some big tackles. It was a great effort all around by that Cougars defense, and then the offense getting the points when they needed them. A 29-25 victory for Chatham-Kent over the Forest City Thunderbirds. Again, thanks to all of our sponsors making this thing happen all season long on TV Coach Go. With the Cougars, Dr. Sveck Institute of Psychological Services, Chatham, London, Sarnia, and Blenheim. Also, Exercise MD. Visit their website, exercisemd.ca. Also, Royal LePage, Bev Shreve. Visit him at bshreve.com. TechNet Auto Service on Bing Avenue in Chatham. Also, State Farm. Your agents Karen Bozazzi, Brad Archer, and Scott Stanley. And also, hey, EnviroClean Car and Dog Wash. 2 locations in Chatham. Haven't mentioned them yet. Grand Avenue East and Park Avenue East.
Make sure you visit them, carndogwash.com, and APC Auto Parts Centers. Visit them, autopartscenters.com. On behalf of Mike James, Jeff Brooks on the camera, and all the folks here behind the scenes with Chatham-Kent Cougars football and TV Coach Co. Back with you soon. My name is Mike Renier. A win for the Cougars and the junior varsities over the Thunderbirds, 29-25. Have yourself a great night.